If you are buying or selling in Greenwich, the closing process is nothing like what you have seen on HGTV and nothing like what you went through if you bought in New York, New Jersey, or most other states. There is no escrow company. There is no title company running the show. And the way a deal goes from accepted offer to closing day here will surprise you if you have never done it before. Today, I am walking you through the entire Greenwich closing process, step by step, from the moment an offer is accepted all the way to the day you get your keys or your check. I am Charles Nedder, a realtor here in Greenwich, Connecticut, and I walk buyers and sellers through this every single week. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how a Greenwich closing works, what makes it different, and where the biggest surprises hit people who are not prepared. So let us start at the beginning. What happens right after an offer is accepted? In most states, you sign a purchase agreement, it goes into escrow, and a title company coordinates everything. In Greenwich, that is not how it works. The first thing that happens is something called a memo of terms. Your agent sends a memo to both attorneys, buyer's attorney and seller's attorney, outlining the key deal points: the price, the closing date, any contingencies, any personal property included. That memo is not a binding contract. And here is the part that catches people off guard. Until a fully executed contract is signed by both parties, the property is still technically available. The seller can still entertain other offers. This is one of the most important things to understand if you are coming from a market where an accepted offer feels like a done deal. In Greenwich, the accepted offer is the starting line, not the finish line. Now, once that memo of terms goes out, the buyer schedules the home inspection, typically within a couple of days. This happens before the contracts are drafted. The inspector goes through the property, and once that inspection is complete, both sides have a clearer picture of the condition heading into contract negotiations. Here is where it gets interesting. Once both attorneys have the memo of terms and the inspection is behind you, they begin drafting and negotiating the actual purchase contract. This is where Greenwich's attorney-driven process really shows itself. Your attorney is not just reviewing paperwork someone else prepared. Your attorney is preparing and negotiating the contract directly with the other side's attorney. There is no title company quarterbacking the deal, no escrow officer managing timelines. The attorneys handle it. This is a good thing because it means you have a legal advocate looking at every clause before you sign anything. But it also means you need your attorney lined up before you start making offers, not after. I tell every buyer in Greenwich to have an attorney ready before your first showing, because once a deal starts moving, you do not want to be scrambling. And this is the part most people do not expect: the deposit. In most states, your earnest money goes into an escrow account held by the title company or a neutral third party. In Greenwich, the deposit goes to the seller's attorney and is held in their escrow account. The standard structure is usually around 10% at signing and the remainder on closing day. Knowing this ahead of time matters because it affects how you plan your funds and your timeline. Once the contract is fully executed, both sides have signed, deposits wired, you are in the mortgage contingency period. Your lender is working through appraisal and underwriting. Your attorney is running the title search, making sure the property has clear title and no liens that need to be resolved before closing. Quick question for you. Do you know who sits at the closing table in Greenwich? It is not a title company representative. In most cases, it is the attorneys. The buyer's attorney and seller's attorney handle the closing, document signing, and fund transfers. The attorneys are running the show. The whole process from accepted offer to closing typically takes 30 to 60 days, depending on financing and how quickly both sides move. Here is what I want you to take away. Greenwich's closing process is attorney-driven from start to finish. Your choice of attorney matters just as much as your choice of agent. The property is not locked up until that contract is fully executed. And your deposit structure, mortgage timeline, and closing day logistics all flow through the attorneys, not a title company or escrow officer. If you are getting ready to buy or sell in Greenwich and want someone to map out every step, reach out when it makes sense. Give me a call at 203 524 4303